Cursed. Cursed. We all go a little mad sometimes.
There's a formula to it. A very simple formula.
I saw the boogeyman. I saw him outside.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Hey everybody, welcome to a brand new episode of Tomb of Terrors with me, Old Man Brad. Whether you are new to the show or returning for another episode, thank you so much for giving me a listen. If you love the show, drop me a review on your favorite podcast app, or you can support the show over on Patreon, patreon.com/oldmanbrad. Make sure to follow me on social media. Just look for Old Man Brad on Blue Sky and Tomb of Terrors over on Instagram. Of course, you want to make sure to follow me over on Letterboxd. Just look for Old Man Brad, and you can see all the watches I do. All right, festival season is here for me. I've been dropping a few short reviews for the Fantasia International Film Festival over on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Just look for Tomb of Terrors on any of those. This is part one of two. I'm going to kind of go through the first half of watches I have done for the Fantasia International Film Festival, which runs from July 16th until August 2nd. But I'm going to give you my first half because we're kind of halfway through the festival itself. There's still one more week to go, and I have a few more watches to do. So next week, you will get the second half, and then we'll go from there. But before we dive into all things Fantasia, if you are in the Cincinnati area, come out to Frightful Fridays on the third Friday of the month. So thankful to be partnered with the Esquire Theater to host a horror screening, and I'm really excited for our screening in August. I know I say I'm excited for our screenings every month because I truly am. I love getting together and watching these horror movies. But this one is a brand new movie that is just doing screenings in theaters across the country and some festivals right now. And that is a movie from Vinegar Syndrome. We will be screening Night of the Vamp Friars on August 21st at 10 p.m. It's going to be an amazing time. I'm so excited that we get to screen this and see this film before it comes out later this year at some time. But come out August 21st at 10 p.m. and let's watch a movie together. Okay, now we can dive into the Fantasia International Film Festival, which last year, I think I ended up watching 12-ish films total, maybe a few more. This first half of my festival coverage, I'll be talking about 5 total, 4 feature films, 1 short film. I'll be talking about Ancestral Beasts, Sour Minnows, Unholy Night, Nightborn, and the short film from my friends Heebie-Jeebies Pictures, Dagnabbit. It's awesome seeing, especially last year, seeing some of the films from Fantasia last year starting to come out. Like, I believe it was Marama was one from Fantasia or Fantastic Fest, one of the two. But getting to see movies like this, I got to see and getting to see them get this release now. And it's fun to kind of watch the journey, being able to talk to some of these filmmakers. Haven't had a chance to talk to anyone involved in any of these films, aside from the Heebie-Jeebies guys. If you go back and listen to a few episodes ago, I had those guys on to talk about their films and these upcoming short films. We talked about Dagnabbit briefly. And there are so many films playing Fantasia that I didn't get a chance to see or just didn't have time. Like, I really want to see The Glorious Dead from the Addams Family. I know Her Private Hell played there. It is out in theaters now. I want to see The Last Temptation of Becky, the third Becky film. There's one called Buddy that I want to see. So there's many I've put on a list that I want to see as they start to roll out to, get a chance to check these out. Let's start with the films that I have watched thus far. So the first one, Ancestral Beasts. A Métis woman retreats to her family's rural home to rebuild her life, only to discover a lethal presence that forces her to decide between what she is willing to sacrifice and what she must protect. Written and directed by Tim Rydell. It is full of Métis cast, the director. This movie deals a lot with mental health issues, and it deals with these pieces passed down through ancestors, this darker creature, this entity that is attached to their family. This woman, she has a sister who is not nice to her. Her mom passes away and she gets into this, her family's home. It was either her mom or her grandmother. I don't remember, but it's a family home that she lived there briefly when she was younger. She doesn't really remember, but she's going back to kind of figure out her life. Her job isn't great. She's just not in the right mind space. Let's just say that. And I mean, we've all been there. I've been there recently, but there are pieces of this movie that I love. There are some pieces where it kind of felt a bit like a Lifetime movie, the tonally felt off in some places. But what really hooked me in was the way the creature in this movie was portrayed. This creature is almost like a parasite. Like it's a parasite attached to the person, to their body, like connected to them. The way it goes, it's kind of like even the description said, what's she willing to sacrifice? Is it a thing? Are you going to let this thing control you, or are you going to control it and deal with these issues? I don't want to dive too much further into it to give pieces of the story away, but even with its faults, I enjoyed Ancestral Beasts. Is it a perfect movie? No, it has issues. A lot of movies have issues. Almost every movie has issues somewhere. But the way this creature, this mental health problem with the family roots and everything was portrayed, I enjoyed it. I thought it was really cool how all of that was kind of put together. Even in my quick review, I said I would give this a recommend. It's one of those that, put on a watch list, watch for it coming out later. But to start things off, Ancestral Beasts got me moving. All right, the next one we'll talk about is Sour Minnows, which is a very interesting movie. Follows Ricky, who sees something on an empty LA street. Soon he's watching his life from impossible angles. The angles are watching back. Written and directed by Harrison Atkins. This one's a very, very indie low budget film, and it dives into a lot of surreal moments, horror, in this guy trying to figure out basically what the fuck is going on. There were many times watching this movie, I found myself saying those exact words. It is trippy. Basically, he and his roommate are coming home from the store, and they see a group of people licking a road. They're all laying down, just licking this road. And next thing they know, they come to somewhere else. The movie has moments that is very slow. There were moments where I'm like, do I like this? Then it got to a point like, okay, yes, I'm loving where this is going. And it was a roller coaster. Even as the same way as we're following his journey is kind of a roller coaster. It's which pieces are actually happening, what is real, what is not, as he sees this playing out before it actually plays out. It is an odd film that I still thought about days after. It was moments of, how did I truly feel about this movie? And in all honesty, I don't know, because there was a lot that I'm like, I don't know what happened. There are moments in this movie, it feels like Clerks, where it's very indie, low budget, like Clerks, like you're following these friends doing all this stuff. And then it gets surreal, almost like a stoner film. Acid trip. Is it an acid trip? I don't know. And then there's this relationship in there as well. In the end, even though I was like, did I like it? Did I not? It was one of those, like, it made an imprint on me that I still thought about after the fact. Like, even a few days after, I was still thinking about Sour Minnows. I have to give the movie huge props for that, even with its oddness, I guess I should say. This is definitely one that will not be for everyone. If you do end up seeing Sour Minnows, you definitely let me know what you thought of it. You were like, oh my gosh, this was something. But yeah, Sour Minnows, I can give it a recommend. But as I said, it's not going to be for everyone. Some people will probably hate it and others will love it. I think it'll be one of those very one or the other, I think, for most people. All right, let's split these features down the middle. We'll do a short film right now. And that is Dagnabbit. This is from Heebie-Jeebies Pictures, from Josh David Matthews and Jason Sheedy. A homeowner, a crawl space, an unwanted guest. That's all you need to know. This is a nice little short that's funny. It is, you're just kind of sitting in the backyard of this man's house. He's sitting in a lawn chair, drinking beer, and waiting for something that is coming out of the crawl space to be able to either shoot his gun to get it to go back or, making sure it doesn't come out. The whole time you're wondering what is going on, and it cuts to through many days it goes on. Some days he's drinking beer and then it goes to coffee so he doesn't fall asleep. This has funny moments. It is well shot. The creature and effects in this are top notch. Everything I've seen thus far from Heebie-Jeebies has just been killer. This is no different. It has a very 80s video store, like something you would get from the video store type of movie. Dagnabbit's it's just fun. And, just like all the rest of their stuff, I can't wait to see what's next from them. All right, let's talk a little bit about Unholy Night. A family's Christmas Eve dinner becomes a nightmare as Gino must protect his loved ones from his reanimated grandmother, who crashes the celebration with murderous intent. Written and directed by Michael Gabriel, this was a blast. I had so much fun with this. This was one of the ones before Fantasia kicked off that I really wanted to see. I love a good holiday horror movie. And this is holiday horror comedy. What if your relatives, your dead relatives, come back during the holidays and kind of wreak havoc? This has moments that you can see are inspired by Evil Dead and Evil Dead-esque moments. They're trying to figure out why they came back and how they can get them to kind of go away. It's that relative you don't want to be there during Christmas. And I know this kind of has that moment of like the relative that crashes the party, the relative you're like, oh my gosh, they're here. It has many funny moments. It has some good bloody moments to it. One thing I absolutely loved is the eyes. They made the eyes of these reanimated zombies or whatever they are. The eyes are like a mirrored effect in the pupils, and it looks really cool. It almost makes their eyes look like they're glowing, but it's like a reflection. Like, for instance, how you see like animals, like if you see a deer or something like that in the headlights, the way their eyes shine, it's that effect, and I love that. All the while through this, there is a love interest. He's trying to figure out family and many pieces of the holidays going on with a twist in the end that I honestly did not see coming. It kind of threw me for a loop of like, oh crap. And it worked. A few pieces, it could have been tightened up a bit as far as pacing goes. But you know what? I can't wait to add this to a holiday watch list. You should definitely add it to your list because you don't want to miss out on Unholy Night. As I said, it's an absolute blast. If you love holiday horror or holiday comedy horror, because there are many comedic pieces in this, you're going to want to see Unholy Night. All right, the last one for this first half of Fantasia is Nightborn. In Finnish forest, Saga and her husband John embark on a new chapter as parents. But Saga's joy is overshadowed by a chilling suspicion about their newborn, unbeknownst to John, causing a rift as she alone grapples with the disturbing truth. Written and directed by Hannah Bergholm, This is a movie that stars Rupert Grint, Sadie Harla. It's coming to Shudder, I believe, very soon. But this is a movie, a folk horror movie that really deals with that postpartum depression that mothers have. My wife went through it. You get to a point where you can't do it. You can't go on anymore. And this baby, as I put it in quotes, there are many things happening with this baby as it is born. It doesn't like light. It wants blood. There is so much more to it as they're in this Finnish forest that is alive. You can hear the forest crackling and you see movement. I loved the story and the way that this type of thing was dealt with in a folk horror aspect. I love a good folk horror movie because the one thing about them is atmosphere. And the atmosphere of this, it's dark. There is something there that you can't fully explain. There are tensions between, the husband and the wife. What is going on with this? Whatever this baby is it a creature? Is it something else? We don't know through the movie. The only piece is there's one scene in this movie where something happens to a grandma or something happens to someone's child, and just the way they react, it's not as emotional, as hardcore as I think it would be. It's more of a like, I'm gonna take my kid and go then. I mean, like, no, if what happened, you would be a lot more angry than this. Let's just say that. But I really did enjoy Nightborn. It's a slow burn. It's a dark, if you've ever seen folk horror, it is slow, but there are just dark elements to it. I love the forest. I wanted more out in the forest with the creaking and the wind blowing and the creepiness to it. And this baby is creepy as can be too. It is, you see the way that this baby is going and her just spiraling down into this really, really dark place that her husband doesn't understand, and he wants things to be normal and they can't. But watch for Nightborn. I know it's coming to Shudder very soon. It's one that I definitely would recommend checking out. And if you do see it when it comes out, let me know what you thought of it. Is this one that kind of hit for you, or did it miss the mark for you? I don't know. Well, there you go. There's my first half of the Fantasia International Film Festival. 4 feature films and 1 short film. I have 5 films left that I will cover in my next episode. I'll be talking about Sicko, The Galactic Ghoul, Homebodies, Mother Witch, and Bowels of Hell. Just make sure you subscribe to the show and you'll never miss any of that. On my way out, I want to tell you, Is God Is. The road trip revenge epic Is God Is. It's out now on Blu-ray and DVD. In this critically acclaimed genre-bending thriller, twin sisters with disfiguring burn scars have their world upended when the mother they'd believed dead reveals their father is responsible. When she orders them to kill him for what he did, they must decide whether to seek vengeance or find mercy. Is God Is, starring Cara Young, Mallory Johnson, Vivica A. Fox, Sterling K. Brown, and Janelle Monáe. This is one that I haven't seen yet. I'll be watching it here very soon. Maybe I'll put out a little short review for you. But that will do it for this episode of Tomb of Terrors. As I said, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss the next piece of the Fantasia International Film Festival. Any short reviews I do over here, interviews, verses that I do with my wife. We have another one coming very soon. Tales from Tubi or The Year of Paul Nashi. We're coming into the back end of those over here on the main podcast. But I'm having fun with this year. There's been a couple in these last few movies I've watched that they maybe weren't the best, but they weren't terrible. But if you subscribe, you'll never miss that. I'll be back soon. Just snuggle up in that blanket, turn off the lights, because it's okay to be scared. We'll talk to you later, everybody.